In this one, I'm playing a mono blue deck, but it's a deck that's a little bit different from the mono blue elementals deck that I have played recently. It's a deck that's built around a new card from the Marvel superhero set, and that is, I'm going to try my best with this one, Namor the Sub-Mariner, even though I grew up calling this character Namor. I'm just going to call this character the Sub-Mariner because that's going to be the easiest thing for me. This is a 3 CMC mutant merfolk villain with 4 toughness and flying, and it says its power is equal to the number of merfolk you control. So there's definitely two ways that you can build this deck. You can just go with the creature merfolk strategy, put a whole bunch of them on the field. The Submariner gets big, does a whole bunch of damage, and probably it'll be okay. However, I'm going to lean into the second ability. It says whenever you cast a non-creature spell with one or more blue mana symbols in its mana cost, create that many 1/1 blue merfolk creature tokens. So I'm going to use the Submariner as a self-engine. We're going to have a whole bunch of draw spells in the deck, a bunch of counter magic in the deck. We're going to be casting all these out, making a whole bunch of tokens, and then attacking the opponent. And that's going to be kind of the sub theme or the sub plan of the deck, because the main plan of the deck, of course, is leaning into prowess. We have Stormchaser's Talent, because how could we not play Stormchaser's Talent with the Submariner? Because it is a non-creature spell that is probably one of the best ones in mono blue. Then, of course, you can't play Stormchaser Talent without Boomerang Basic, and we are also leaning into the Planisphere, which is essentially permanent prowess. Pretty good. Whenever we cast a non-creature spell, and whenever you draw your third card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. When the Planisphere enters, it's going to create a hero token and equip the Planisphere to it, so that creature is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And even if our opponent does kill it, we can re-equip the Planisphere to another creature and start growing that one. And then, of course, we have a couple of copies of Hydro-Man. This thing will also get big every time we cast out a blue spell. Then the rest of the deck is made up of either draw or interaction. Over here, we have a whole bunch of draw spells: Opt, Sleight of Hand, Consult the Star Charts, and Flow State. And then over here, we have our counter magic, Spell Pierce, 3 Steps Ahead, and Spider Sense. In particular, Spell Pierce and Opt work very well when we have Hydro-Man on the field, because Hydro-Man will untap at our end step and become a land that we can use. Then in this column, we have 2 more spells. Get Out. Get Out, of course, is a counterspell for creatures and enchantments, but it is also a way of returning Stormchaser's Talent to our hand, or saving some creatures if we need to do that. Maybe we need to save a Hydro-Man or a Submariner. And then finally, 3 copies of Bounce Off. This card has been fantastic. Instant speed creature removal is essentially what this is. There are a lot of creatures that we need to get out of the way, or we need to get off the field immediately, and Bounce Off is fantastic. Also, it costs 1 CMC, so it works very well with Hydro-Man. So that's the deck. We're going to see if the Submariner can create a Merfolk army and overwhelm the opponent while also doing a whole bunch of prowess stuff. See if it works in the games. See you over there. Time for some Submariner in standard, supported by Wolverine. I definitely forgot to change that. Usually I try to change it to be a little bit more thematic, but Wolverine can help out the Submariner today. So I have a lot of hope for this deck. It has been playing well in testing. It is awfully powerful when it goes off and it does its thing. But we definitely need to find some of our better pieces off the top of our library, because we are without creature threats right now. Perhaps I kept a little bit of a bad opening hand. I kind of looked at it and just snap kept it. Okay, Deep Cavern Bat is fine. They can remove, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter what they're doing. I think you take the 3 steps ahead. I think if you're in the opponent's shoes, because there's these 2 bounce spells. Of course, it could make us waste one of the bounce spells on the Deep Cavern Bat and then, well, go from there. Now we have a little bit of a choice. I don't hate using the Boomerang Basic on the Deep Cavern Bat, because that's going to turn on my Flow State and give me an extra card. It also returns the Bounce Off to my hand and makes it so that the opponent might waste their next turn doing the Deep Cavern Bat thing. Okie doke. So we got the Bounce Off, we got the Submariner, and we have Boomerang Basics, I think, is what we're going to take into our hand. The Opt would have been pretty good, but I think next turn maybe the opponent's going to put out the Deep Cavern Bat one more time. Yeah, this time around, their position is weird. Do they take the Submariner, or do they take bounce spells one more time? They do take the Submariner. I suppose that's probably right in the... So what we're likely going to end up doing is holding up 3 steps ahead. Oh, mama. Does that change things? I think it actually doesn't change things. So what we're going to do is we're still going to hold up 3 steps ahead. And we're probably also going to try to bounce off the Deep Cavern Bat. Probably on end step. Definitely on end step. I don't care about taking 1 point of damage here. 1 extra point of damage, I should say. Because we just don't want the opponent to play the Deep Cavern Bat out one more time. Second Deep Cavern Bat. So that kind of forces us to use the 3 steps ahead to remove that. And hopefully they don't have a third Deep Cavern Bat. If they do, it's going to be a little bit devastating for us. Okay. So return this thing. Boom. And that means outside of them having Bitter Triumph, which they very much could have that, we can probably start making some fish babies. We're definitely going to go out with the Stormchaser's talent. It triggers Sub-Mariner at least once, and we would like to bounce back with the Boomerang Basics if we get the opportunity. They may remove Namor before we get a chance to do that. But it looks like we're not doing that. Okay. So we at least get 2 1/1 1/1s out of this, and we get to return our Boomerang Basics back to hand. Or sorry, our Stormchaser's talent back to hand. Draw a second Stormchaser's talent. We do have 6 mana next turn, so we can actually like go and get this back from our graveyard with level 2 of the Stormchaser's talent at some point. I like the position that we're in. The opponent doesn't seem overly threatening, like they don't have a huge clock, and this Cecil is also going to be doing damage themselves. We're going to be chipping in with more. The Sub-Mariner. Although, Professor Dalian fell, pretty good draw from the opponent. A good way of removing our King of the Fish. Ooh, that's awfully good. So I think what we're going to do is we're definitely going after Professor Dalian fell, like 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that that's what we're going to be doing. So if we put out 1 Stormchaser's talent, we can keep our Otter alive. You know what? I think what I want to do is I want to put out 2 Stormchaser's talents. So if they decide to block the Otter with the Cecil, at least we trade 1 Otter away from with the Cecil, right? We don't just give up a 2/2 for a 2/3. I'm fine with this. Okay. I think that's a better block from the opponent. Leave one of these Prowess creatures on the field. Lose your Dalian Fel. It's fine. We play out our Hydro Man, and that means that we are pretty much leaning into the Stormchaser's talents. I'm not putting out this island because I want to kind of coax the opponent into playing out the Deep Cavern Bat to, waste 2 mana, essentially, because it's not so much of a threat to us. What we really want to be messing around with is these Stormchaser's talents. And probably what we're going to actually grab is maybe the Flow State. Okie dokie. Oh, boy. That sucked. Well, they did end up putting out the Deep Cavern Bat as we expected. And they find a pitiful island. There's no reason to sandbag it now, and we found the Sub-Mariner, which is great news, maybe for the future. I still think I am Stormchasing here, and probably going to be doing the Flow State. I wouldn't mind finding like a Spell Pierce. Not a Spell Pierce. But we just grabbed the engine. We hold Hydro Man back for a little bit. Again, I'm not really worried about taking 3 points of damage right now. The opponent's going to be taking 2 damage at the same time. They could load up the Restless Cottage. If they loaded up the Restless Cottage, I'd probably be pretty happy with that. Bring in the crew. 3 damage, 2 damage up top to the opponent. The Cecil will eventually become a little bit of a problem. I guess it's only 1 damage because they kind of mitigate some of that with the Deep Cavern Bat. And now Emeritus of Abundance gets back their Professor Dalian Fel. Yep. So that is a little bit of a problem for the future because of the obvious. It's Professor Dalian Fel. We do have... What if I leveled this up to level... What if I went up to level 3 with this and just started firing out so many otters? So there's a couple of choices here. We could just level this up to level 2 and grab the counterspell, which actually seems pretty good. I really don't want this Dalian Fel to hit the field. Yeah, okay. I think I made my mind up. I think the idea of grabbing 3 steps ahead is just a little bit too tempting, because this thing, once it gets on the field, it starts accruing a little bit too much value. And I think it's safe to put out the Stormchaser's talent. I hope I don't get punished. If they have removal for Hydro-Man, it's real bad. But they would need a Requiting Hex specifically. So we'll pass and pray that the Hydro-Man goes back. Maybe it was greedy that Hydro-Man, we played around with Hydro-Man. Oh no, I feel like I'm getting punished here. They do have the Requiting Hex. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh man. Okay. This is bad news. Bad news. Now they have a Delian Fel on the field and I can't do anything about it. Except, I mean, I could bounce it. Oh. Oh. Bring in the team. Bring in the heat. Okay. Kind of fine with that. Sure. I mean, it sucks. It's a tremendous amount of damage. We're down to 4. But we're going to be able to make a pretty good wide board. I think I was a little bit more afraid of Delian Fel than of them doing the cottage. Okay. No more. Boomerang Basics back, the one that we haven't leveled up yet. We still have 3 steps ahead, and we're drawing a card here. I would have liked to have my Hydro-Man on the field. Maybe. Would I have countered... Ooh. Would I have countered the Requiting Hex to save the Hydro-Man, though? I don't think I would have. All right, we go with Stormchaser's talent one more time. It makes another Merfolk. What we need is... We needed to draw a little bit better. But this is a pretty good board. We can hold up 3 steps ahead and get out just in case they have nasty things. And we're really only getting hit with this Deep Cavern Bat now. They gain some life. They don't want their Cecil to flip whatsoever, I suppose. Okay, this is turning into a very interesting first match. I love... whenever you play up against Golgari, I think it's always kind of interesting. They have just a lot of really good tools, but they don't have, like... As long as they're not going with some hub strategy, they don't have this way of, like, just overwhelming you and blasting you down. So it ends up becoming a good back and forth most of the time. Now, they know we're sitting here with this 3 steps ahead. They take 2 damage from the Overgrown Tomb. So do they want to load up the Restless Cottage and have mana for... They don't have mana for Delian Fel. Did they miscalculate? Okay, the opponent took a little while to decide whether or not they were going to actually attack in with everything, and they finally did decide they were going to do that. This is sorcery speed, right? Regrowth, yeah. So they do get that. We now have the choice of using the get out to return our Stormchaser's talent, and I think that's what we're gonna end up doing here. So that happens. We're not moving to blockers just yet. We're going to bounce, and I think I'm gonna return 2 of them. I know I've leveled up one of them. I don't need to have 2 potentially at level 3. It's just not necessary. Now, they do seem to have 1 card. Well, maybe not. Maybe this pausing is for the food. I'm not really sure. But we now have a Namor that can go in front of the Emeritus of Abundance, which is huge for us. And now we also have the choice of killing Cecil and also killing the Restless Cottage. No, that's a bad block. I don't like that one. Yeah, let's do like that. So even if they have a Requiting Hex for one of these 1/1s, it'll still kill the Cecil. They're going to need something big here. And next turn, we're going to span out more babies. We are taking 1 point of damage here, though. And them killing one of the otters would be pretty annoying. They do have the Requiting Hex for that, but I suppose that's something that they're using a lot of their mana on, so it's not the biggest deal. I don't know. A Requiting Hex on one of the otters. Okay, so I think this ends up being mostly fine. We get rid of Cecil, the death-touching creature. The Restless Cottage can just be, like, chump blocked forever. The Deep Cavern Bat is actually the bigger problem, so we're going to definitely have to make sure to keep the Professor Delian Fel off the field with this 3 steps ahead. We draw a land, which is, it's not so bad. Because we can do a bunch of stuff. I mean, I'm kind of getting up to the idea of doing this. So we have now, how much mana do I actually have? Using 8? God, I have 8 mana. So we can very comfortably do this. Level 2, go and grab, I don't even know what's left. Are you telling me there's a Boomerang Basics left still in here? That's crazy. They haven't been eating my Boomerang Basics? Well, I suppose I'm doing this. And Spider Sense is good. Spider Sense is... Do I care about taking a little bit of damage here? Like 1 point of damage from the Deep Cavern Bat? It's probably not a big deal, right? And I do need to kill the opponent. Okay, that's fine. Boom, boom, boom. And since we're... No, we can... Yeah, we'll hold up the 3 steps, obviously. Like I said, I gotta make sure that Dalian Fell doesn't hit the field. If they use 4 mana on that, hopefully this card is a big old whiff too. Another Withering Curse would be pretty nasty to go through. It would get rid of their Deep Cavern Bat though, which is their clock. Okay, Scheming Silver Tongue. How afraid am I of this card? I'm not. It's a 1/3. It is a 1/3 flyer. So perhaps I should be respecting it a little bit more, but we do have ways of maybe bouncing it. The Restless Cottage is super fine. Does produce a little bit of mana that they can use to heal themselves, but I don't know if the opponent gets out of this one, right? Maybe I'm being a little bit too cocky. Now, that is... There's still 2 Boomerang Basics in the graveyard, so I don't really care enough to try to counter that. As long as we don't botch the block on the Restless Cottage, we should be fine. Now, they also don't have the mana to do this turn. Do I draw 2 cards? It makes a baby. So let's say, how big do I need to get? Okay. Let's say I use Stormchaser's Talent to get a Boomerang Basic next turn. That's going to cost me 6 mana. I have 9 mana, 6 mana. That's going to create 3 Merfolk. So my Namor's going to go up to 8 power, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. I think we actually do this just to make one more baby. Okay, okay, we find bounce off. So we don't even need to do the hard way. This is just it. Done. It's done. Namor, it's going to get huge. The opponent doesn't have anything that they can do here. Another sleight of hand. We're just going to, you know what, we're just going to make as many fish as we possibly can. The opponent has the Scheming Silver Tongue that they might be thinking is, say, I mean, they know they're done. They know they're dead, right? Because we could just bounce it with, you know, the Stormchaser's Talent thing too. Isn't this insane when this just gets going? And we bring the heat. This is tons and tons and tons of damage. We could have actually done even more points of damage with all of these spells. We could have gotten our Prowess creature up even bigger. What we could have done is, just for fun, we could have put out the Planisphere. Yes, I had a blast. We could have put out the Planisphere. We could have even equipped the Planisphere to something. When you have now I understand why people love Badger Mole Cub. When you have a whole bunch of mana, it's super fun. That was a 17-minute game, but what a good back and forth that one was. Imagine if every game of Magic you played was like that. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Okay, opening hand looks good. We got sleight of hand, a gorgeous sleight of hand, by the way. If you're unfamiliar what's going on here, yeah, what a great looking card. The opponent is on possibly Dimir. It's probably Dimir, right? We got Get Out. Get Out is pretty good. We'll probably end up finding more lands later on, so I'm gonna grab this just in case they have... We probably want to make sure that we can counter the Kitty Cat, Flash Cat for 4 mana. Enduring Innocence, not Enduring... Is it Enduring Innocence? I always get the Innocence names used. Okay, I'm gonna try running out the Planisphere. It actually lands. The opponent playing the Hidden Layer lands. Man, these ones still bumming me out. But now we have a Planisphere on the field that's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't think I'm gonna run out the. I don't think I'm gonna run out the Submariner right away. What I want to do is hold up maybe Spell Pierce or Get Out. So I think it's probably fine just to do Sleight of Hand this time around. Try to find like a Stormchaser's Talent. Second Submariner, but I think I have the protection that's good enough to keep him around. So I'm just gonna do Island to make sure, you know, with last game having as much mana as we did really ended up working out for us in the end. And the opponent seemingly not doing anything. I feel like they're holding up. I don't know. That's weird. Why didn't they crack the map onto this Spyglass Siren if they weren't planning on countering something? And it didn't seem like they had mana to counter or something to counter the Sleight of Hand. So I'm not really sure. That's just a really weird pass by the opponent. Strategic Betrayal is fine. We lose our hero. Do I care about losing the hero? So I can protect it, but I think I want to protect the Submariner on the next turn. So that can go away. We also do lose our graveyard, which kind of sucks for future flow states. I'm also still not really sure why the opponent's not cracking this map on their creature there. That's bizarre to me. There's a flow state, but we did fill our graveyard ever so slightly. So we are going to go out with the Submariner, and we have the Spell Pierce to hopefully keep it alive, although the opponent might be up to 5 mana, so that might be asking a lot. Spell Pierce might not be quite good enough if they have a Bitter Triumph or Shoot the Sheriff. I think we're kind of donezo. And I'll regret putting this one to the bottom because we do have 4 in the deck though. We need to make it through this turn. If we make it through this turn, ooh, the opponent with the duress. Oh man. So do you fire off the Spell Pierce now? I think you do. You fire it off. You make a baby. You make them maybe pay 2 mana. Ooh, let it go. So probably they just have, of course, I mean, the Spell Pierce, Duress did exactly what they wanted it to do. Oh, okay. Beseech the Mirror for the end. Oh. Uh-oh. That sucks. What a great card to have at your disposal. Beseech the Mirror into the end. They steal away my remaining 3, 4 Submariners. And now, well, the thing is we still have the primary plan. Remember, Submariner is plan number 2. And we just found a Hydro-Man, which is plan number 1 away. Am I holding up the Get Out? I think so. This can't return, unfortunately, equipment. So I could fire off the flow state, but I think it's probably fine just to hold up the... I should have fired off the flow state. I forgot what Hydro-Man does. Could have had Get Out and flow state, but maybe it's still better because what do we have in here? We do have instance. We need a... That's not good enough to counter, is it? Like I said, I'm more afraid of stopping the cat. A deck like this, I feel, must be playing Flash Cat. And if they are able to get that onto the field with Spyglass Sirens, we are just done. We can't counter that. Okay, cool. Phoenix Fleet Airship. So we are going to get fleeted down. I love what the opponent's doing. I'm surprised that they're doing it in a Dimir shell, not in a Golgari shell. So what we want to see off the top of our library is probably a Sleight of Hand would be quite great. And they do trigger the Phoenix Fleet Airship, so they are going to be making 2. So these things are impending death for us. Okay, boom, boom. If they're able to find something that allows them to sacrifice more of their fleets, then we're just in huge trouble. So, equipping the Planisphere, casting the flow state, getting a little bit of triggers on these 2 creatures. All that we can really do. We find... man. these could have been good at some point. They're really bad against the Spyglass Sirens. Let's grab Bounce Off. And I'm grabbing the Bounce Off as a... just if I need to get my Merfolk up a little bit bigger. Which one do they crew up? They actually crewed up the one that I want to bounce. Hold up. Oh, man. Okay, so if they block Hydro-Man, we're in... No, we're not in good shape. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. It's fine. We're still bouncing this one. What I was thinking is if they block Hydro-Man, then I can bounce this Phoenix Fleet airship and then kill this. But they very wisely crewed up the Phoenix Fleet airship that is a token. That's what I want to say. So that I can't get rid of this. Because if I could have killed this one and bounced the token, they would have been in pretty bad shape. If they draw a creature here or an enchantment, we'll be able to really hose them. Okay. We're countering Stormchaser's talent all day long. I forgot that this was crew 1. It's insane that the Phoenix Fleet airship is crew 1, isn't it? That is cool. Now, we do have Agnakella. We can draw a card, then discard a card if we desperately need to start finding some stuff. But they decide to get in on us. I don't know about that opponent. I don't know about that plan at all. Did they just throw the game? Did they just throw the game away? Being aggressive, trying their best to get in with the Phoenix Fleet airship. And we take down game number 2 in another pretty awesome, grindy game. Wow. Dimir Phoenix Fleet airship looks super cool. I actually really appreciate what the opponent was playing over there. We're so deep into this video, and it has only been 2 games. I don't know if I'm going to make it to my normal 7 games. Definitely this deck is grindier than other decks that I play. Question about that. But usually we are able to get at least some quick kills. Turn 1 Duress. What are we doing in Standard these days? Turn 1 Duress. Fiddlemaw. What are you doing over there? What is this name? Fiddlemaw 39 Iza. There's got to be something 30. I don't know. They take the 3 steps ahead. We could sleight of hand, but I think we just hold up the opt. It's fine. Found our land is fine. Also, probably want to find a Spell Pierce for future protection for our Submariner. Get out is fine. Get out is fine. Okay, pass it back to the opponent. I don't know what they're doing, so maybe creature enchantment. We can take out something. Probably it's Golgari. It's Golgari, so they might have like easiest get out of my life. Oh my goodness. When you can do that, you feel good about things. Okay, so we could... I'm so afraid of them murdering my Submariner, and I feel like I need to have some kind of protection or a backup Submariner. Okay. In this case, because we don't have the Spell Pierce, I think it's fine to grab Namor number 2 and its talent. Oh man, so we got to discard a non-land card. Bounce Off saves our Submariner, but we don't necessarily need to save our Submariner, right? But maybe it's kind of good to be able to do that. You know what? Let's get rid of one of these. Because essentially with Bounce Off, I have a second Submariner, right? If you think of it in this way. It's just, you can't really throw away Boomerang Basics, because if you end up finding the Stormchaser's talent, like it's too powerful. Those 2 cards working together, it's too much. You can't throw that away. Leveling this up, Banish Talent level 2, okay. So we got to do what we came here to do. We put the Submariner on the field. We need to rescue old Namor. We can use the Bounce Off. The opponent up to 5 mana. They could just cast out a demon if they wanted to with the Ritual Chamber. I don't think that's ever going to be a possibility, or a situation. They're going after my boy. I thought so. Okay, so what this ends up doing is it saves... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Disaster? Is this a second Bitter Triumph? If it is, then we're in trouble because we don't have Hydro-Man, we don't have our Stormchaser's Talent, we don't have our Planisphere, we don't have our draw spells, we don't have a whole lot of anything. A Requiting Hex on the 1/1 token has to be the... it's a gift. That's a gift, I think. Thank you. And a second... oh, we're feeling happy. So Namor's back, and we have our fourth Namor. And a Momentum Breaker. Okay. Well, the kind of sucky thing about this is that this is going to kill my poor 1/1. Okay. You got it. Namor's back. He's alive and well. Please give me Stormchaser's Talent off the top. Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. We don't get it. All right. Fine. Spider Sense is our next way to save our Submariner. We're struggling here. Okay. Thankfully, we do have enough cards in hand. Oh, man. Okay. They're going to be taking damage, though. Drawing cards. We could counter it. That's crazy, though, isn't it? That's crazy. Deck. Please. Okay. Draw a card. Desperation time. You see your opponent do... oh, we found it. We get rid of Spider Sense? And just... no, there's no way we can get rid of Spider Sense, right? Okay. And we cannot... we have to wait one turn. There's no way I can allow this Namor to die. 1 damage is fine. Boomerang Basic's going to be fantastic, obviously, with the Stormchaser's Talent. It's also not going to be too bad if we decide to start bouncing the 6/6 demon that the opponent decides to make. Imagine we find... well, we have lots of bounce stuff, right? So it kind of seems like a good idea to get rid of it. I'm so tempted to do this. They only have 1 mana available to them. Don't really want them drawing cards. And this is going to make baby. Next turn, we're going to make... okay. No, do I have... no, I can just counter it. I'm going to counter it. I think I'm going to do this. I don't want them... ooh. Pretty great. So, we're bouncing this 100% of the time. We're getting in for 4 damage. We are holding up Consult the Star Charts into possibly finding an answer that could save us. I think that's the play. Find Roots. Okay. Consult the Star Charts. Let's find some more cards. Find Roots is pretty great for the opponent off the top. If you're unfamiliar with this card, target player discards 2 cards. Put up to 1 land discarded this way onto the battlefield, tapped under your control. So we found pretty good cards. We're going to discard those 2 cards, though. So what are we discarding? I think we keep the Stormchaser's Talent because Stormchaser's Talent represents... they get mana, obviously. It's fine. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have grabbed useless... I should have grabbed useless cards. I don't know why I grabbed the island to be like, here's an island for you, friend. have this wonderful gift. But I think they're dead. Mind Roots. When I saw this card, I definitely tried it in one deck, and it's such a cool idea, and you kind of feel like it could work for you, but then it just doesn't. It just doesn't work. Okay. We now have 6 damage. If I return... don't have a 1 CMC spell. So probably what we want to just do is grab Opt or Sleight of Hand. Try to find a land. Yes. So that I can put out the second Stormchaser's Talent. Don't. Okay, counter magic. Suppose that's the way to go. Now I'm kind of regretting not having Hydro-Man. Oh, yeah, that. Speed 1. Okay. To save themselves. Well, they need a big draw. They're not getting any benefit from the Bandit's talent. Bandit's talent, very cool card, allowing them to draw extra cards each turn. But they also need to make a demon here, and they need to gain some life, which they can. They can go up to 3, and then go back down to 2. If they have the board wipe, yep, gonna be bad. But we can also grab. Do we have bounce off? We do have bounce off. We put up this Stormchaser's talent next turn, and bounce. I don't think it's going to be enough. Bounce the demon, obviously. Oh, no, they go up to, like I said, they go up to 1. We're getting another victory here. What a good run by this, with this deck. It's just kind of working. And the opponents, though, the opponents are all out here playing some cool stuff. I really appreciate all the neat stuff that's going on here. Unfortunately, how many can I even get? 7 games? And there were so many lines to follow in that last game. I don't think I explained things right. I think I was probably just like rambling on and cutting my sentence off halfway like I tend to do. But I felt like, yeah, near the end there, I was not really making any real sense. Just Stormchaser's talent unlocks so much for every blue deck. It's just like, do you want to be able to do everything that's great in your deck one more time? Because that's what you can do. You can just, you're going to have the mana and you're going to be able to go and grab whatever you want from your graveyard and redeploy it, and it's always fantastic. Easiest get out of my life. We are in a little bit of trouble though. This turn 1 Paw Patch Recruit's pretty good. I don't. Yeah, we're gonna run out Submariner. Hope that the opponent doesn't have a really good turn 3 follow-up. They did mulligan down to 6. If they have another Badger Mole Cub, we're in trouble. This is the Selesnya Counters deck, which is probably one of the best decks in the format right now. It is incredibly powerful, and we have a hard time dealing with Trample. A really hard time dealing with Trample. Kind of want to hold up this 3 steps ahead. I'm really afraid of what the opponent might be able to put onto us. Oh, both of these cards are fantastic. I think it's okay to grab the draw spell though. Okay. We can definitely take a little bit of damage. It's fine. One thing I haven't talked about. I originally put 3 steps ahead in the deck because I thought this would work particularly well with Namor, because the spree, but it turns out that it's only the pips in the mana cost. Unfortunately, the extra blue mana pip in this does not benefit Namor. So in this case, I'm only going to be making 1/1 Merfolk baby. Still, I think getting rid of Paw Patch Recruit is going to be pretty good, especially when we're playing things in our deck that can bounce stuff. We might need to do that at some point. Flow state, find a land. Yes, sir. Find another 3 steps ahead. I think that's probably pretty good. And you better believe that I'm bringing 6. Yeah. Okay. If we can keep them under our counter magic thumb, keep making our land drops, we are going to be in pretty good shape here. Or Boride. Get that. Oh my god. Counter spells are fun, right? Countered Badger Mole Cub, we countered a Paw Patch Recruit with Baby, and we countered an Ouroboride. We're living our best life over here. This is fantastic. Like I said, finding our lands, finding more counter magic, finding more counter magic, and finding my boy, Hydro-Man, who I don't have lethal damage, do I? I'm 1 short with the Consult the Star Charts, unfortunately. Hang on a second. No block? No block. No block. Oh, okay. This is 6, 7, 8. I actually do have lethal damage here. So what I can do is we have 9 damage on the field. We need 3 more damage. I can cast Consult the Star Charts, put 1 more Merfolk on the field. I can cast Get Out, returning a Merfolk, creating 2 more. Oh, no. No. It would have been 1 short because I would have returned 1. So I did actually only have 11 points of damage there. Okay, still, Uh, I'm glad the opponent conceded then. Taking down that Celestia deck is pretty motivating. It kind of really shows that the deck might actually have some gusto behind it because that deck is awfully powerful. Now, we did have very conveniently lined up counter magic. Count your blessings when you're in that situation. It's awfully nice when it works out that way. What's going on with all the Golgari decks today? Okay, we could flow state or consult the star charts. I think I kind of just want to hold up mana, make the opponent think a little bit carefully about what we might be holding, and then fire off this consult just to replace it. Get a hold up. That's a blue mana source. We're against Sultai. What does Sultai mean? That means Superior Spider-Man. Does that mean Doc Ock is coming to play? That means we desperately need to hope that they don't find their Cavern of Souls and this 3 steps ahead and save our butts. Which I'm yes, this is a 3 steps ahead game. And it completely falls apart if the opponent ends up finding Cavern of Souls. I'm gonna lead out on the Sub-Mariner. If they want to use the removal spells on it, they can do that. If they want to spend the turn establishing their graveyard, building up things, okay, fine. I think it's okay. We're gearing up for a long game, I think, here. Flow state, they don't have anything deadly in their graveyard, so I think it's actually kind of fine for me to do this. Spider Sense, Planisphere. I think it's got to be Planisphere, and I'm going to jam the Planisphere. Again, second threat on the field. If we can start growing this hero up, it could actually kill the opponent pretty quickly. We definitely need to find... Are they going to get a 4/4? I was going to say, get their own Namor. That would be fun. So they reach into our hand with Deceit to maybe definitely take a 3 steps ahead. If they have... They can't do a follow-up. They could bounce the Deceit. Are they bouncing Deceit? No, just killing that, healing themselves a little bit. Maybe it's okay. And another rapid rescue. So there's their Arden in the graveyard. Meaning that this needs to... Okay. We're definitely not getting 7 games in this video. This game is going to grind so long. Both of us desperately... Ooh, okay. That's good. Good news. Stormchaser's talent, and we can actually load up the Otter, holding up the 3 steps ahead, and the Stormchaser's talent's going to allow me to go and grab Flow State next turn. Nothing from the opponent. We draw another land, so I can grab Flow State. I can't cast it because there's no way we can allow the potential Kavaro come down. But what we can do is just this. It's got to be Flow State, right? Oh, Flow State was the sorcery that I needed. The sorcery in my life. Oblivious Bookworm. I don't like that it's on the field. Is this on beginning of end step? No matter what, this is going to trigger. So, like, we could bounce it, but then they could replay it. Yeah, weird. Okay, it's fine. Oh, that's what dreams are made of, boys. When you need your boomerang basic, the game provides. Oh my god, it's so good. Okay, everything's so good right now. We can create another otter. We're gonna get in with this yoked otter. It's a 5/5. The Oblivious Bookworm doesn't want anything to do with it. We have the bounce off to actually return maybe like some nasty thing that they end up trying to put onto the field. I don't care about it. We're just making sure that we can counter whatever Kavaro nonsense they try to do. And Deceit's pretty good. Actually, that might force me to counter the Deceit. It does. Okay, so we got to do this. And we may as well draw... You know what? I don't hate making a copy of Planisphere. After that, make a copy, make a second hero. That's kind of cool. Bookworm and Baelmerk both trigger. We need to make sure that we bring the 3 steps ahead back to our hand on this turn, which we can absolutely do. Could also flow state. We have 8 mana. No. We just go grab. We play it safe. We grab 3 steps ahead. We get in. Do we bounce off the Oblivious Bookworm? Yeah. See ya. This pumps us way up. Am I missing lethal damage here? Let's say I do flow state. This is going to be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's too far off. No, I think we just played a little bit safer. We hold this 3 steps ahead. They have 5 mana, even at 6 mana. Like, outside of them dropping a Cavern of Souls and a Kavaro for the Bring of the Last Gift, I don't think there's any way that they're going to be able to get out from underneath this. Just feels so smooth, doesn't it? All right, that's 5 games down. We're 5-0. Oh yeah, I'm having fun. I think the time says we have time for maybe one more. If it's a quick one, we can get the full 7, but I think we're going for maybe 6 this time around. Opponent's going first. We have our Planispheres. We have our talent. Don't have our Sub-Mariner, unfortunately. But I think we're keeping it. We're going to try it out. Planisphere, I love this card. It's just just so good. Ooh, we are against artifact or enchantments, which makes me think that, do I want to bounce the Veteran Survivor when they try to load it up with an inevitable Shelter by Ghost? Maybe that was better. But they wouldn't have fired off the Shelter by Ghost if there's nothing on the field, right? So, like, that's the situation. Yeah, you could kind of try to get the opponent when they're trying to equip up the Veteran Survivor with something. I think it's fine just to put this out. If they end up putting, like, ethereal armor on it, then we're good. But, of course, it was Shelter by Ghost. We all knew it was going to be Shelter by Ghost. How could it not be? Is this how the hero is going to go down? The 5-0 deck, the thing that it's been pumping along, and then the budget-friendly mono-white Auras deck comes in to save the day, saying that, in fact, the format is saved. You don't need to invest a bunch of money in this format. You can destroy a deck that's destroying the expensive decks with a 4 to 8 rare deck. All right. So the opponent just, like, throwing stuff out onto the field. Kind of cool. We do not hit our land, which is absolutely brutal. Please land, please land, please land. Okay. So next turn, they're going to be getting a counter on something. This Veteran Survivor does have board. So is it throwing... I think it's throwing the Planisphere, second Planisphere onto the field. Yeah. And I think I'm getting frisky. Let's go for it. They don't block. It's fine. What we need to be more concerned about is the double strike. So if they load up the Veteran Survivor with the +1/+1 counter, I'm going to be more incentivized to hold up the bounce off. Actually, I think next turn we just actually have to hold up the bounce off. Oh, buddy. That's a lot of damage. That sucks. Okay, no block. Take the full hit. Take the full hit. We're going to try our best to... Do I just have to bounce off the Veteran Survivor right off the bat? And we miss on the land. So they do have mana open. I think we're toast. I think we're so dead. Because I need to use all of my mana to try to get rid of this warded up Veteran Survivor. Which is not going to work. Because they almost certainly have Shelter by Shard Mage's Rescue. Yes. Okay. We try it. Let me make sure that's only Ward 2. I have been burned recently. Not noticing that there was like a second Shelter by Ghost on the creature. Whoa, okay. That's great news. Okay, it actually may turn the tide a little bit. Seam Rip to take our 4/4? Or do they take the Planisphere? Take the Planisphere. Please take the Planisphere. Please take the Planisphere. Not the creature. Yes. Oh. Hmm. Too bad. Too bad. Too bad. If they have another removal spell, we are in trouble here. Of course, I have to block the 3/2. Take 2 damage from Maria Hill. They put out a veteran survivor. Okay. Submariner. It's not good enough, right? Okay, so we need to do Stormchaser's Talent, have a 1/1 on the field, and we need to probably use the opt to try to find a bounce off. That's really the only thing that's going to save me. Okay, here they come. Let's put this in front of, I think it's in front of the veteran survivor. We opt just in case. Oh, it's a land. I don't think the land's going to be good enough. Get out is also not good enough. We're down to 2. So Namor is pretty good block. Ooh, man, if we only had mana, we could have put out the Submariner and the Boomerang Basics, but it's just not going to be good enough. Opponent, GG. I don't think I have anything that I can do here. Mono white auras. That's the reason this deck is the most popular, most played deck. It has the tools to get the job done. That game was fast enough. We can jam the full 7 games. We're not going out on a loss to mono white auras. Although it wasn't the budget version, they were playing Sam, Captain America Sam, so they had a little bit more gusto coming at our faces, but dang, that one was close. I felt like I almost turned the tide there. We got lucky that they didn't have the Shelter by Ghost, but oh, just like straight up life gain. I thought we were going up against one more time. Not good enough, right? Spell Pierce against this deck? I don't think that's going to really work out for me. Get Out is pretty good because this time they are going to probably put out a 2 CMC Grower. It seems to be what these decks tend to do. Leonardo, Cutting Edge. Let's get rid of that. Boom. And so now the question is going to be whether or not I jam the Submariner on the next turn or if I hold up the Get Out. And I think we're here to play a little bit of Namor. Yeah. If it survives, if they don't have a Shelter by Ghost, we will be in pretty good shape. We'll be in fantastic shape, actually. If we can get through this turn, especially if we draw land kind of thing, like, Essence Channeler's fine. Super fine. No attacking. No land. Okay, that's fine. So we throw out the Stormchaser's Talent. We buff up our Submariner a little bit, put some babies onto the field, and now we can hold up Get Out for nasty creature spell that might be coming down. We have this for our opponent's... I don't know. But we'll definitely get rid of Linden. Linden is a little bit too nasty. And actually, we can start attacking in with these 1/1s now. Okay, opponent passes it back to us. We miss on our land, but I think it's okay just to send in the crew. We're going to hold up the Spider Sense. I actually don't even think the Spider Sense is really going to be getting much value in this game. Actually, you know what? I might end up casting out Consult the Star Charts or Flow State. Maybe Flow... what do we got in our graveyard? We have instant speed stuff. So we can actually do the Spider Sense to returning one of our baby Merfolk here, just in case things get a little bit yucky. Boomerang Basics, so good. Can I please have both of them? Okay, we're still grabbing the land. I wanted that Boomerang Basics for the Stormchaser's Talent, but I think we need to hit our land drops. And this time, you know, we can also consult if I want to do consult just for 2, which doesn't seem bad. And now we don't need to return something with the Spider Sense as well if we end up having something to counter. I guess if they put out the Sheltered by Ghost, we can counter the triggered part of the Sheltered by Ghost. That's fine. Aaliyah. For 1, it must mean that they have another... Imagine another Linden from the opponent. It would be pretty devastating here. Never really noticed like the webbing around. Oh, it disappeared. Why? was kind of cool when the spider sense like lit up there. It was in my hand, but as soon as I went over it, it got rid of that animation or that graphic. Okay, the opponent finally wakes up and decides that the Shelter by Ghost is the plan. So we are not allowing that. We are definitely getting rid of that trigger. It makes another baby. It pumps up our otter fruitlessly because it already attacked. Doesn't really matter. Okay, now they do have a 4/2 life-linking Essence Channeler, which is a bit of a problem here, but oh, you better believe I'm blocking. There's no way they have... They can have like Restoration Magic. That would be pretty good. Do they have a way of keeping the Essence Channeler alive? I don't know. The opponent was roping quite a bit there, and then they kind of just snapped into this attack. I don't know what's going on. Okay, they let it go. That's crazy. So they had a +1/+1 counter on the Essence Channeler, but it's going on the Halia, and then she's going to warp out this turn. So it was all fruitless. I think the opponent just... I'm not sure what's going on. I'll be perfectly honest. The opponent definitely seemed maybe a little bit tilted there with the roping. Maybe they're distracted with something. You know, there's any number of things that could be going on with somebody. But we're just going to attack in with the crew. And I think we're going to probably consult the star charts for X with Kicker. Gives us a little bit deeper into our deck. And hopefully we can find a way of closing out this game. Unfortunately, against a life gain deck, they have a lot of ways of just like sustaining. And this video is already going long. If you've made it to this point in the video, if you've stuck through all of these games, thank you very much for pumping up my watch time. I do appreciate it. I'm sure there are people that, of course, they come in, they see the deck. We call those people the snakes, right? That's been referred to before. It's fine. You see a video pop up and you're like, okay, what's that deck list? You pop into it. You're not going to sit there and watch an hour-long video. But some of you have stuck around to watch the whole video, and I have to say, thank you very much. I guess it's a good chance, but while Whiskered Worm is roping and thinking deeply about whatever they're doing. The comments lately have been absolutely incredible. A lot of people just like... I mean, I don't know how to express how nice some of these comments have been. People mentioning that they've been with the, watching the channel for like 6 months or whatever, 8 months, and they think they like the vibe of what's going on around here. They like the decks that are being played. It's just, I don't know. The comments have been fantastic, so thank you very much. It's very motivating to read some of these comments from y'all saying that this is their go-to Magic channel to a degree, and everything that's going on in the channel is really good. So thank you. Just gotta say. I could grab the Stormchaser's talent, but I think just grabbing a land and keeping the opponent under my 3 steps ahead thumb is probably a pretty good way to go about things. Let's flow state for funsies. Grab the bounce off and a land for the future, sure. And we swing with the whole crew. If they want to get in front of one of my 1/1s, that's fine. We'll hit them down by 9 and counter basically whatever they put onto the field this turn. And I don't see the opponent making it past another Submariner attack. Like, there's just no way, right? Okay, opponent, good fight. We lose to the mono white enchantments deck, but there was no losing this day to mono white life gain. We weren't gonna let that happen. We weren't. I like both decks, but there's no way I'm losing to a life gain deck. It could have gone very poorly for us. We got a little lucky that the opponent was stuck on 4 mana, I think. All right, wrap up. All right, what an impressive performance from Namor the Sub-Mariner, getting it done. Putting up big numbers, just being an absolute annoying creature to go up against. And of course, that's all on the back of other things. We obviously saw Otters doing a tremendous amount of work. We also saw the Planisphere coming in pretty big. I'm very happy with this card in the deck. Originally, there were only 2 in the deck, but I've gone up to 3, and I've been very happy with that 3rd additional Planisphere. Hydra Man, fantastic. It also gets out of control very quickly. So I think having that A plan of the Prowess spellslinger idea along with Namor, there were lots of games where the Submariner got on the field, made a whole bunch of fish, and it got out of control very fast. Originally, I was playing the lord. I had one lord. I went like a Zorius, and it was just making things just a little bit too awkward. You don't need to pump up the fish. They're just 1/1s. Attack in. Namor has flying. He gets huge. The amount of damage that he could suddenly start putting on the opponent's face is just it's just so much. And then as far as like what spells you decide to include in this deck, that's up to however you want to play the game. I could see some people saying like, okay, maybe they want a few more sleight of hands. Maybe the get out has been particularly good for them in the meta. Go up a couple of get out. Spider sense not really working out for them. Dunk those ones. I mean, you can craft this part of the deck however you want. Not this thing though. You need this thing, right? This is just auto locked into any blue spellslinger deck that you're going to be playing. You just play that, right? But yeah, everything felt really good. I love the makeup of this deck. Let me know what you think about it as usual. Again, thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. I definitely appreciate that. Help me out, like the video up, and of course, leave a comment. Even just saying hello is always appreciated. Anyways, that's it for this one. I hope you have a great start to your week. Take care for now. Sanang e ipana, and I'll see all of you wonderful people in the next video. Bye-bye.